but I was not aware of business. I was aware of art.
Yeah.
I knew the knowledge of art. That was the time I started saying that I am a designer.
Said tailored to a fashion designer.
Fashion designer. I want to be a trendsetter, right?
Yeah.
You may survive, but you may not conquer. So we have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And so do we have to redesign, redefine, and polish ourselves according to the changing lifestyle of people. Fashion is an ever-changing process. If you cater right,
Yeah.
if you cater right, people will love you, people will connect to you, and people will never ever forget you. But my luxury is always my family. And I was called a Darji when I started my journey towards as a fashion designer.
Hello, Sangeeta ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us here.
All my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah. For our listeners who are discovering you for the first time, I know a lot of people know you already, but for some who have just getting to know you, take us through your journey.
Well, I'm Sangeeta Choksi, now a leading designer of Gujarat. I work pan-India, abroad, many countries, but based in Surat.
Okay.
And I always call it my Surat because all name, fame, money, respect, honor I've gained through Surat. So I love my Surat. So that's the basic of what I am. I'm a basic folk dancer and Western dance. And I go as jury even for those. So my Navratris are very special. Gujarat folk dances are very special. I visited Europe to represent India when there were no groups or hardly few groups going to, exhibit their talent abroad. That was the time I visited. So that is something very interesting. Also, we own an event, creativity events, and wherein we do lots of weddings, various shows, big and small. And we have a nice product, the White Flea and the White Festival.
Okay.
So it is one of the nationally known biggest flea. So it is now in that race of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
And that is I've been owned by my son Neil Choksi and my daughter-in-law Preksha Choksi. So we have these many business, and I have a label, Sangeeta's Creation, the designing studio. Basically, people told me, "Kena, it's old-fashioned, Sangeeta's Creation. You can change it to Sangeeta Choksi or give some other name, like you read, no, like Manish Malhotra."
Yes.
So it's that sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
But I said, "Ki I am so happy with that." Maybe it must be old-fashioned, but it is close to my heart because when I started with fashion, I was not from the fashion world. And that was a time randomly, I just got it designed in few minutes and I had that logo of mine and the name was Kya Rakhe, so Sangeeta's Creation.
Yeah.
That time it was that way. So this is, I'm talking about it maybe 35 years back. So when we were called tailors. So I started with that. So now in this modern era, I feel my name is yet modern.
Yeah.
Because it's the work that speaks. And when work speaks, your label speaks.
Yes.
So I was that and I am that.
Yeah.
Basically, I have done my master's with industrial microbiology, biosciences, specialization, alcohol, beverages, antibiotics. I was to pursue my doctorate, PhD.
Okay.
Got married in a very huge joint family. Things didn't work out for them. College was 3-4 hours. Research is no time limit.
Yeah.
So I had to one point, just throw away my dreams, thinking I'll do it next year and then next year and then another year.
Yeah.
But that year never arrived. Maybe I must be weak or situations were such. I'm not sure whether I was not strong enough or whether circumstances were too strong not to let me do it. But I used to dress up well then as well.
Yeah.
So people used to love my dressing. So friends, family used to tell me ki, Abanavi apone. That's how I used to design for them.
Yeah.
Then at one point they said ki, like it looks like an obligation ki you design and you don't charge from us and all. And that time I was already in need of some finance so that I could say, okay, this is my money.
Yeah.
So I started with a very nominal amount and I used to do that. Then came a process that I used to design for clients and give it to them. The embroidery part, I used to do it myself. For institutes in Surat, I won't name them, but the students have to make files of particular 40, 50 stitches.
Yeah.
They have to name them, they have to put the swatches of samples.
Yeah.
They used to come to me, कि दीदी ये बना दो ना, we'll pay you. And I used to do that, because I used to love embroidery.
Yeah.
And then I was getting money. So when you are in a baby step, money is really important. People say it's not important, but I feel money is very important. Even to remain happy, money is important.
Yeah.
I don't believe money is not important.
Yeah,
It is a part of life.
Yeah.
So at that time also it was my need. So I started with that. And imagine the students used to come back that दीदी आप घर पे नहीं हो, फाइल तो ले ली लेकिन कौन सा स्टिच कौन सा है वो तो आपने लिखा नहीं है. I said, oh my goodness, you can't recognize the stitches. How are you going to work over it? Right?
Yeah.
So then that thought came to me that even I need to learn.
Yeah.
Because I am doing it just basically, but I do not know what stitches are what, what embellishment is done, how, what silhouette is called, which cut. I need to learn. And I started learning. And that time I was not learning for any certificate or any degree.
Yeah.
So when you're not learning for something as certificates, you do it very passionately because you don't have to look for marks. Ki, oh, I have passed.
Yeah.
You do it, because you want to learn. And then you feel, oh, I do not know this. I do not know this.
Yeah.
So that self-learning gave me even more knowledge, And then one fine day, not a very, happy times, and there were bad times. And out of that, we had a separation from the family as all three brothers had their individual floors in a bungalow, saying that we will live happily together, but with different floors. So we started that, and my husband was into service, you can say, a job. And one fine day, he didn't do good there, and he felt frustrated and he quit it. And he came home saying that I've quitted the job and I'm going to start my own business.
Wow.
So I was wondering, I said, we have a new house which I have built selling everything of mine. Like, I didn't have cash at that time. My husband was not so well set. We sold every jewelry of ours, including my Mangal Sutra.
Okay.
So my husband was in tears. So I told him, you are with me. This is a jewelry with black beads, which I respect, honor. And in Hindus, it's a spiritual, bonding between a husband and wife.
Yeah.
But I said, I have it in my heart. So let's take it as, something for our happiness.
Yeah.
So we sold off everything we had. So I had a box of house. We sold off everything. We got minimal things in the house. And then I said, okay, come on, let me help my husband by doing something so that I can earn.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, going back to my academics was not the right answer. So what I did was, I got 2 karigars and a frame. Now that frame is called khatli. Right? Whole night, I was thinking that those 4 wood stripes, and they call it khatli, and how are they going to work over it? Because for me, it was a ring, needle and thread.
Yeah.
So I didn't know all that, So morning I was so eager, and I had 2 karigars only, and they came and they started tying the frame. And I was so keen to know that. So I was learning how to tie that frame, and then they applied the fabric over it, and I said, wow, this is the way it is done. It was like, though I was starting a very small business, I was learning as well.
Yeah.
And then came the real struggle, like any work which was like, if you would give me a dress, I would do it for you. I would do a little motif of work for you or something.
Yeah.
And I used to take the payment from you, but I was not aware of business. I was aware of art.
Yeah.
I knew the knowledge of art.
Yeah.
I knew the placement of art. I knew the cuts. I knew the combinations.
Yeah.
But business,
Brand, how to create a brand, maybe.
2 2s are 4. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So there I went weak. So when I started, the first client I gave, I was in a loss. Second client I delivered, I was in a loss because I didn't know how to calculate. So
Yeah.
I used to never calculate my hard work.
Yeah.
So when it came to Karigar, they are going to charge.
Yeah.
So it added.
Yeah.
And that time I realized, I said, shit, I used to make this for 2,000, it's 4,000.
Yeah.
I used to make it for 5,000, it's 6,000. I used to make it for 500, now it's 800.
Yeah.
So I used to not have money and I used to pour money in that,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it became a very bad state. So then I realized I need to learn even more. So I used to visit fashion stores. If I'm traveling to Bombay, I used to go and see all big houses. I used to study what a particular designer works on. Somebody is very good at print, somebody is very good at fabric, dyeing and colors, somebody is very good at embroidery. And then I realized, I said, oh my goodness, this piece is 2,000, why does it cost 10,000?
Yeah.
This piece is just 50,000, why is it 2 lakhs?
Yeah.
And then I got confused. I said, again a confusion.
Yeah.
So I have passed through all this, so it's a ground level work.
Yeah.
So now I know the loopholes. Now I know how to calculate. So that's how I learned. And then I started growing my business from 2 karigars to 4. Imagine I used to sit from morning, I used to cook fast and then go and sit in that room where karigar used to sit. Why? Because I pay them hourly.
Yeah.
And if they won't work, I'll go in a loss.
Yeah.
But even after that, I was in a loss.
In a loss, yeah.
So then I said, it is stupidity. And all designers don't do this. Why am I doing that?
Yeah.
So that was the time I actually went into pure learning of fashion. Because fashion, and at that time we were called tailors.
Yeah.
And that was really insulting. You are academically so strong and people treat you like, I respect tailors.
Yeah.
But tailor does what you want. You just go and say, okay, I want this cut and this neckline, and they do it. We study your body language, your profession, your likings, dislikings, the country or the state or the city you stay, the atmosphere there, the hours of the hours you're going to carry that particular garment, the occasion, and then we design for you. So we are called designers, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little difference, not little, a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I used to think, hey, why are we treated like this? And then when somebody used to call me, what do you do, Sangeeta, these days? I used to say, I'm a homemaker. Because I used to feel shy to say that, rather homemaker was more respectable. Because even today I respect homemakers because they are multitasking. They do more work than any other professional does, right?
Yeah.
So, but later when I went to study this, I saw industry full of men, governed by men.
Yeah.
And then I said, being a female, I should be more proud of it.
Yeah.
Because I am doing something what men is already doing. Me taking care of house, children, the socials, the joint families, friends. And then I'm working. And that too with a good potential and sharpness. Then why should I hesitate? That was the time I started saying that I'm a designer.
Wow.
So that's the first step. And this is like when I was just 22.
Wow.
And today I'm 62. So this is 40 years back.
40 years. Yeah.
So I started this level of work. Then from 2 karigars to 4 and 6 and 8. And now I have multiple karigars for my embroidery work, for stitching. I respect them because what I am today is because of them. So all thanks to my workers who are, artists in our field. They do the best. I give them designs. They make it practical. I imagine. They make it hard copy.
Yeah.
So only because of them, I survive. So this is how I traveled from below zero to what I'm today with many, many challenges. But this is in short what I was just talking about, a journey of a fashion designer.
Yeah. How from a said tailor to a fashion designer.
And now we flaunt. And I'm sitting here, you have invited me, right?
Yeah.
So all this is earned, and I'll tell you, some things are wrong as well. People do not appreciate very soon.
Yeah.
And there are healthy competition and bad competition.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of it.
Yeah.
And your identity, you have to throw your identity to the people. Otherwise, people will make your identity.
Yes.
So it's not that ego you have. It's not that you show that I'm something or show that I'm super successful, because There are many successful people with huge success about all of us. But when I judge my journey, yes, I am climbing steps.
Yeah.
So I call myself successful. And you need to hold your hand high and then tap yourself. Only then people tap your back.
Yeah.
So that's what I've learned.
Yeah. So, as you said that, you know, in the industry full of competition, how do you differentiate yourself? You know, back then, because at that time, differentiating, people did not know the difference between differentiating, right?
True.
So, from there to right now, when people want something different, how has that journey been?
See, different, I don't understand why people define fashion as something different. Or people ask me whether you design according to the trend. Why
Yeah.
should I design according to a trend?
Yeah.
I want to be a trendsetter.
Yeah.
So I create.
Yeah.
I'm into my creations, my ideas. Of course, I don't make weird things what doesn't go at all with today's lifestyle.
Yeah.
But yes, you can always do it. Years back, I had done a fashion show at Indoor Stadium where the designer Rohit Parma was the show director.
Okay.
And I was the designer. And I had given floor touch anarkalis and all. This is years back. And after the show, people came congratulating me that वो दीदी sequence बहुत प्यारी थी, sarees and all were good, but that was something, what do you call that?
Yeah.
So I said floor touch. I didn't know what it is called. Floor touch. And after a few years, I see everybody wearing it.
Yeah.
So that was not something copied.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do take inspirations from other designers because you have to keep your eyes and ears open of what is going around, what things are available for you for designing, and you know what others design matters because
Yeah.
you may have a different idea of the same things which are lying on the table. She may have different, he may have different, I may have different. So, you know, it's good to study all designs.
Yeah.
So that is how I grew up, and I make my own styling. And it has become so remarkable that if some ex person is wearing it on the on such certain occasion and she is standing on the stage, people do say that Sangeeta's. So that's my, you know, you can say how people identify my work. I'm known for the neatness of my work, the Zardoshi which we do. Of course, my karigars do it, but it is designed, you know, it is a combination of designs which my mind collaborates and comes out with a nice output. And basically, I'm very well known for not making customers coming to and fro for just one order.
Yeah.
And I have a big yes or a no. I never say dekhenge, we'll see. Either I do it or I don't do it. Sometimes people take it as an ego, but it's not an ego. It is a style of working.
Yeah.
And basically, I do not want to harass my clients or my friends who come to me. I value their time. I value their space that they give me. So the same is, and if I do good time management, it works for me because I'm a multitasking person.
Yeah.
So I go on various platforms and I want to have my me time, some movies, some masti, a family time, children. So I don't want to miss out anything of my.
Yeah. So in this world of, you know, now everything is so digitalized and computerized. So like now even the stitches and, you know, we have machines for all the work, right? So in this era of, you know, machines, how are you preserving all these artisans? Because they are, as you said, are the main person who
Definitely
have helped you create the brand. So how is it, you know, how difficult or how easy it has been to, you know, protect them in this world right now?
See, it is difficult, but it is easy as well. I will say that I'll give you a simple example of what I'm going to do now. Maybe this month or the coming month, I'm launching linen shirts online. They are whites. And the first lot, maybe 200, 300, 400, what, as many. Each one will be embroidered by me.
Wow.
So with all this busy schedule, we have 10, 12 designs. And all those number of shirts will be embroidered by me. And they are basic embroideries which are not to be done on khatli and not machine embroidered. A very light tinge of highlights or a particular simple patch or a one liner or but each one will be done by me. I can do it with the karigars, right? And now I have enough of strength for holding more karigars. But I want to preserve this. I do not want to forget it, and I do not want people to forget it. So I still am into that. And when you consider AI into fashion designing, even that needs knowledge.
Yes.
You have to have particular knowledge to get the output from AI. AI will give you 10,000 pages. What are you going to do from that?
Yeah.
So even to know that, you have to learn this.
Learn this.
So if people think that AI is so easy and I just feed in that I want so many prints and I get hundreds, you won't be exclusive.
Yeah.
You will be in the market, but you won't be what you want to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You may survive, but you may not conquer.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And I'll tell you, I'm the biggest example of no social media.
Yeah.
Because I started this at a young age, what I said. We didn't have mobiles. We had pagers.
Wow.
Right? I wouldn't page a design.
Yeah.
Then we had mobiles and per minute cost was so high that each one wouldn't even afford.
Yeah.
So the clients also wouldn't have it. So I didn't have that. But thanks to the press media, thanks to radios, I used to come regularly on that, give tips on fashion every day on radios. I used to give half of pages of description of particular, like say kalamkaris, bandage, any of those things. And each week I used to take a topic, and then I used to give the history of it, the pictures of it, and people used to read it lovingly. So. And then now comes the social media. So if somebody thinks that if you are very viral on social media, you are a super successful person, I say no, big no. Because whom you see big may not be big. There are exceptionals.
Yeah.
So I am not talking for everybody, but all are not that big. That shows on social media. Everything on social media seen is not sold. There is selling. Again, it's an exception. But if you think that only social media can build you up and give you a big name, it's a big no.
Yeah.
I have learned to drive the journey from no mobiles to various sites where I can publish my fashion and where I can speak about it and where I can advertise. To this level where social media has become ultimate, that only if you are there you exist.
Yeah.
It exists for others, for many. For me, yes, to a certain level, because again there is good and bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's a balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate, but I don't let it overrule my head.
Yeah. Yeah. No, balance is required.
Balance is required, because you do any damn thing over it and you fake your collections, and that's not right. That's not right. And or don't do it. There are many authentic people who really, display so well, and they actually deliver so well.
Yeah.
So there are exceptions, but not all. So for general public, I would say just don't follow one thing. Try all your efforts in all the verticals. Only then success follows.
Yeah. Yeah. You said the word authentic, and it made me realize that, it is so important.
It is so important.
Yeah. And how do you build that authenticity? Like, you have a legacy of 35 years, 40 years, right? But how in this time have you built that authenticity with the clients, or online, offline, anyhow?
Yes. Online, offline, both. Why not? Basically, I'm very honest. Even today, if you ask me something and which is not pleasing to listen, and I may be wrong, I'll answer.
Yeah.
I'll answer. I don't believe saying lies. So I'm very honest. Secondly, I'm honest towards my work also. So that has also made me, grounded to my business, because people know that she's a lady of words. So it matters, And as far as designing is concerned, I have, folded, unfolded, folded, unfolded, and I have risen to a level where today's designing is driving us, you know. So it's not that basic thing that no, now I will do only what I was doing. You know, changing trends, changing time, changing of civilization, I would say, in the sense that our lifestyle has changed.
Yes.
Right, totally changed.
Yeah.
When I was a child of your age, I was something. I was so. I mean, I cannot define and see what today girls, boys at young age are. So we have to go with the flow, and so do we have to redesign, redefine, and polish ourselves according to the changing lifestyle of people. So that is what I have been doing. So again, I'm marked as a good designer. And my designing, I define designing as fashionable, of course, but it has to be affordable and it has to be very comfortable.
Yeah.
So when you see me dressing, I design all types of dresses. I design halters, I design backless, I design corsets, I design all. But if you see me dressing, I have a particular style of blouses, particular length, particular neckline, particular. It's not that I cannot wear it, but that's me.
Yeah.
That's my identity.
Yeah.
Right? So I have been grounded to that.
Yeah.
But yes, I can match your generation. I can match the coming generation. That doesn't mean I don't wear shorts or frocks. I do wear. And it depends where I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? But yes, you have to brush yourself each day and night. Fashion is an ever-changing process, though we call fashion as a statement that nobody can question you why.
Yeah.
If I don't have one sleeve, it's okay.
Yeah.
If I have one short and long dress, it's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody can question why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it is a process.
Yeah. So when you said changing, right? So in the era when you started was, very one-on-one selling.
True.
Now we have seen online, like, because I go online, I buy it. So how has that changed? Because, there was once a connection between you and the client, very authentic in a way that, very human connection. Now it has become computerized. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think about
I will say good and bad both, but then I have not left my human connections yet. I work pan-India abroad, that's what I defined, but I know all my clients there, though most of them I must not have seen them, but yes, I know them.
Yeah.
And online, I just said I'm coming up with linen shirts,
Yes.
and the designing and the production I'm taking care of, and Neil Priksha taking care of the other technology of the sales and management of the sales, and also it's a combo of all of us.
Yeah.
So we have to match with the changing generation style of shopping and buying.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that. So but even then you can have those connects if you cater right.
Yeah.
If you cater right, people will love you, people will connect to you, and people will never ever forget you. I'll tell you one incident. I was taking a walk at Joggers Park, right? And I was in my own moods. It was late evenings and all. And suddenly a young girl, she threw her two-wheeler and she came running. So I got scared. I thought maybe she's in some trouble or she's escaping from somebody.
Yeah.
But she came and directly, she came and she gave me an honor.
Yeah.
So I was shocked. I said, do I know you?
Yeah.
Said, no. So I said, then, ma'am, I was searching. I wanted to meet you in personal. This was a time when we didn't have social media, Insta and Reels and all,
Yeah.
So she said, I was trying to connect to you. I used to read about you in newspapers. I used to listen to you on radio medias and all. And I got so connected to you that I was searching for you. And I was passing by and I saw your ma'am is taking a walk and she threw her two-wheeler and she came to me. And I said, this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
A big label or a big name, you can create also.
Yeah.
And you can create through hard work.
Yeah.
You can mesmerize people and create. You can bribe people and create.
Yeah.
And there are many techniques in these days to create, right? So there are right and wrong ways. But to earn this was a bigger earning for me.
Yeah.
So I loved it. And I have many episodes and incidents like this where I feel truly that oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
I do not know them, but they know me.
Yeah.
So that is how I have to stay very composed when I'm in public,
Yeah.
because each one is looking at me with a different sight and vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you said this, it only connected like, oh yeah, you have created a community.
Yes.
You know, what was that like? You know, to create be a part of and be a creator of a community of people who have, you know, so much love to give. How does that make you
I'll
feel?
tell you, it's a continuous process. You can't give up.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time my son Neil got married, and on the fourth day, my husband got serious. He was ill, but he got so serious that when I took him to the doctor said, Ki, Sangeeta, maybe 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months. And me, Preksha were not in town.
Okay.
And I didn't understand. Like I don't have words to say about my mental status at that point, Like I was feeling that, oh, really? Is this true?
Yeah.
Or this is an illusion, How can somebody tell you like this? And the doctor is right in front of me and everything haywire. And but then I gathered myself. And from there, again, a new struggle started because Neil had gone to study Bangalore. He came back, he got married, and he was to go back. Preksha was to go back. And my husband was on his deathbed. And at that time, when that continued for like 2-3 years, very serious, almost every month in the hospital with huge surgeries every few months. And then the process continued for another 3-4 years, 5 years. So it was almost 7-8 years, wherein every year we used to have some surgery or some problem and doctors gave up. And then God's grace, I had him back. He's fine today.
Wow.
He's enjoying his life healthily. But that critical moment when each time doctor would tap me and say, Sangeeta, maybe few days, That time I remember that when I used to go out for shows as jury or I used to be at some platform which is public, people used to say, Ki, her husband is so ill and she's sitting here. Her husband is so serious. I used to go when things were stable, but yes, in a hospital or maybe at home. So even then she's going out, she's smiling, she's dressing up so well. In the party, right?
Yeah.
Have you come to do something for my family? No, that. But if I won't go out, people will think I'm serving my husband and not working. If I won't go out, people won't give me business because they think that I'm busy somewhere else.
Yeah.
So to sell my products, I have to be a public figure. So if I'm seen, people come to me. I have to grow my business, to treat my husband, to take care of my children.
Yeah.
So people speak, but I didn't leave breaking my rule of building up my community. The process was on.
Yeah.
I said, no, you can say whatever you want. I won't let it come here.
Yeah.
You take it back. I'm not going to let it in,
Yeah.
So that's how I started growing. And when it comes to community building, there are so many episodes. And again, that at any moment, wherever I am, whether it's a platform for dance, whether it's a platform for social work, whether it's a platform for NGO, whether it's a platform for fun, fashion, whether it's a dance party,
Yeah.
I always respect my business first.
Yes.
So that's how my attitude towards people, has made real more friendly.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one more point, that for women, it's very easy to target her when she's growing, because they have a very good weapon, and that's women's character.
Yeah.
So the moment you talk to a boy or have a coffee with somebody or go out with somebody, she has a relation. So that can be any damn person.
Yeah.
So in that way, if you treat women like us, business women like us, then we have new affairs every day.
Yeah.
Because we work with men.
Yeah.
Right? So I have again let that go as it is. Time speaks and time spoke.
Yeah. Yeah,
so we don't stand back to fight with those people. We let them do that.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah.
And we will do what our work or what our ethics tell us. And the community grew more because of this, looking at my attitude towards my life. And now when we have social media, so you don't have to say anything about it. So even when I was not with social media, I had my community.
Yeah.
And recently I read somewhere very interesting, just yesterday or day before, that when Michael Jackson became very famous, did we have Instas and Reels and all? Did we have?
No.
No, but we love it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are huge, big examples.
Yes.
I'm a tiny example of it. So I just read it yesterday and I said, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be, a big thought.
Yeah. I think it's what, even on social media, what people I feel are looking is a connection. So even if you don't use social media and you connect through people in another way, it is going to give you that fame or that, love that people give.
True. And social media is very important these days. I don't say it's not important.
Yeah.
It is important.
Yeah.
But you have to balance. You just can't go every day, dress up and stand in front and blah, blah, blah. No, that is not social media, what I mean to say.
Yeah.
I respect social media because we have to. It's what today's generation is looking forward to. But again, you have to use this tool right. Right?
Yeah, makes sense. Because, when you said that, building a community, there was hate as well.
Of
But then
course.
there was love as
There
well.
was love as well.
Yeah.
There was criticism, and then there was people adore me now.
Yeah,
So because as time passed, my husband growing healthy, my son rising so well in his business. See, it's not I who grew alone.
Yeah.
If I wanted, I would have grown alone. I would have walked out, every morning, come back night and do my business, my career, my fame, my name. The house would be taken care of by house helps. I could have done that, but no, I'm proud today. My husband is so well and doing back to business. My son Neil Choksi, he is one of the top 45 face of event industry of India.
Yeah.
Preksha is one of 45 faces of India fashion industry.
Yeah.
And they are doing wonderful job. The White Fleet, it's
Yeah.
nationally known, one of the biggest.
Yes.
So my whole family is grown. It's not that I have grown. So I feel very good that I balanced everything. Maybe I may be wrong somewhere. I may be using social media a bit less because of my time constraint, or maybe my mistake, or whatever. Or maybe I may be staying somewhere where I had to be. But my priorities are very much clear.
Yeah.
And people say ki you should have goals of another 5 years, 10 years. Good for them. For me, I've seen life here.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether tomorrow my husband would be there with me or not.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether my children, I would be able to take care of them and they would be so strong on their feet. And right now, I would be known by their name. Like she is Neil Choksi's mother and she is Preksha Choksi's mother.
Yeah.
I never knew I would have all that, So it matters. It matters a lot.
Yeah. So you say, as you are a designer and entrepreneur, homemaker, yes, you are. But you are
Yes,
doing
homemaker. I cook the food both the times. We don't have a cook.
Wow.
Nobody loves others cooking at home. So if Preksha is at home, she does it, or I do it. So we have that. So the family, the bonding of family, the family lifestyle remains that cozy. However, we all will grow. Our lifestyle will be this cozy as ever.
Yeah. So basically, what I was trying to ask you is that you are doing so much. So your schedule might be so packed. So when is the time, apart from family as well, when is the time where you ground yourself? Like this is a me time. And what do you do when it's a me time?
For me time, I go out for long walks. I love them because that's only me. When I'm working, but I don't have clients, I'm totally to myself. And I take out time for myself because if you don't do that, you rupture away, you break. And the lifestyle I have had is a roller coaster ride of ups and downs. Along with name, fame, I had lots of challenges and all.
Yeah.
So I need to, compose myself back. So I'll give you an example. Like when my husband used to be in the hospital, I used to come home. He used to be at Bangalore, and I had a house help. She was really cute to help me out. So when I used to come, I used to just come and put on the television and then go and have a shower and come back. Did I want to watch a series? No. Did I want to watch a movie? No. But I wanted that noise around me, that, there is somebody who exists there.
In the house.
And that's how I used to cheat myself. And at certain times when you cheat yourself, it gives good results. You know, sometimes you laugh. You know, people say, "Ki, why laugh in laughter clubs and all, you know, stupidity, just laugh because artificially."
Yeah.
When you start laughing artificially, you cry as well. And one smile comes out, which is your true smile and your true laughter. So you have to cheat yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I do with me. So when I feel that I'm depressed, I cheat myself.
Yeah.
And finally, I start believing it. And
Yeah.
now the happy times are back.
Yeah.
So we have to learn, because this is an era of too much of stress, too much of responsibilities. And I love to go to many platforms. And as I said, when I'm a businesswoman, I have to be seen.
Yeah.
And when I've earned so much, why should I not give it back to the society who has given me?
Yeah.
So this is the time of me giving back as well, and saying thank you to each and every one who has contributed in my personality, my bringing up, my, you know, identity, I would say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So in this industry, which is very, you know, as we can say, it is a diverse industry, but in India, in some parts, it's still very, you know, tight knit. So for that, how connections have helped you, or how forming connections in the industry with people shaped your brand?
like, what connections, what industry you are talking about?
Fashion.
Like,
in fashion.
with big names?
Anyone, even a small name, a connection with them, you know, might have helped.
Okay, I'll tell you, I have small town clients, like even Nandarbar clients come to me. So now see, when you start working, it grows organically. I have very small, like Bardoli is known to be a hub of NRIs, right?
Yeah.
And now it's growing so, but I used to do that 30 years back with them. So then this trend of NRIs came up, and 60, 70 villages are now called NRI villages and all. But that process which I had done was years back. Now it's giving me back. So I had sowed the seed at that time. Now I'm getting the fruits. But that time there was no social media, there was no connect, there were no NRIs as such who had all gone there. But as and when they started going, I was in their heart.
Yeah.
So for small towns, I work this way. For bigger towns, like I'll talk about Bombay or Delhi. You get every damn thing there. You get replicas there. You get everything. I have clients from there. Why? Because they believe that just spending also is not good, and getting worth is also worth. And the type of relation that I've built with them, that matters. They have good spending power. They can go there and cash and buy a garment. But they come to me, right? I won't take names of some few officials who are at a very high post in Surat in various services. I mean, now they have the post at national India level. They come back to me for their dressing purposes, for their wardrobes designed. Why? Because that's the trust I've built in them. That's a relation I've developed with them. And I keep on developing it. For me, every day is a new day. And for me, you come to me, you visit my place, you don't buy. It's okay. But my respect towards you will remain the same. My smile towards you will remain the same. Very often few clients say कि नहीं हमको सिर्फ देखना है मैम, आज बाई नहीं करना है, आज तो ये सिर्फ स्टिच करना था. I said it's okay, देखना है देखिए ना. तो बोले ऐसे ही रैक पर देख ला. I said नहीं I'll show you. So I open the dupattas, I open the dresses. तो बोलते क्यों मेहनत करते हो, हम आज सही में नहीं लेने वाला. It's okay. You are a client. I'm serving you. My respect for each and every client remains the same, whether you are a multi-millionaire, whether you are having your budget of 2,000, 3,000, 500, I'll remain the same, and you can test me anytime you want. That is a challenge, open challenge. And I love the middle class clients because they're very concise, they're very clear, they know what they want, and they get those things designed and happily leave paying you the amount which we have committed, right? And that doesn't apply to all the levels of society. Right? So it's basically, again, your nature towards your client and your attitude towards your business.
So when you're talking about this, one thing that I wanted to ask is that what is luxury to you in this era or when you were starting?
Okay, see, luxury generally comprises of expensive things, right? I do use branded handbags and watches and shoes and clothes, and I design my own clothes, and I do all that. But for me, luxury is my children with me. I don't ever miss that moment. My husband, my son, my daughter-in-law, if they are at home, I don't go for shows also. I say, ki, okay, this is okay, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Of course, if there are big shows and if I'm committed, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But if I have to go somewhere which is a casual invite,
Yeah.
I leave going there.
Yeah.
If we plan out with friends and all, I tell them, I just confirm with my children and let you know.
Yeah.
So for me, luxury is the times to spend with your family. For me, luxury is going out just for a stroll, having some fruit or juice, coming back, sitting with your loved ones and gossiping. And, I like an outing with my family. I miss those things, because you take me to a place and put me with my children and husband and give me the basic necessities and nothing else to do. I'm happy.
Wow.
Rather than you send me alone and give me a 7-star stay with all the comforts, I would deny that definitely, because that is not what I want. Had enough of name fame and will earn more as well.
Yeah.
Will grow as well.
Yeah.
But my luxury is always my family.
Yeah. And what about your brand? Like, what for your brand, what luxury is?
For my brand, I would say I'm really proud of it because Sangeeta's creation came up from nothing.
Yeah.
And today, I proudly go as technical jury for shows. I have shared the jury with Neeta Lulla, Satya Paul, Archana Kochar, Vikram Fadnis, many more.
Yeah.
So when you have your seniors in the panel and you are sitting there, it matters. You feel proud, felicitated at various platforms which are very influential. You feel proud. So when I see Sangeeta's creation growing so well, and when I am at any damn place and people recognize me with my label, that is the luxury of my
Brand.
my brand. And I will not try to hurt my brand as far as quality and the deliverance of the product is concerned, because I am sincere to my work. So I am very sincere. People get scared to say that, but I can challenge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind losing a work for it rather than losing my authenticity for my work.
Yeah. Is there any design, as in per se, Zardozi? These are things that people already know of.
Right.
Right? Bandage is something that everyone knows of. Right? Is there any design or form of design, art of design, that you feel people should know more, that they haven't explored it yet?
See, as far as fashion industry is concerned, it is too big.
Yeah.
And see, normal crowd is generally, very much impressed by Bollywood and Tollywood and all. So normal crowd, and fashion overs are completely different. Right? They go with the trend or they want to be the trendsetters.
Yeah.
So, but I believe now we are coming back to our heritage. And we are doing lots of research. And now, like, for an example, Neeta Ambani, what did she do? She's building up the cultural heritage, right?
Yes.
She promoted all the basic heritage embroidery fabrics, even in their last wedding, which they had.
Yes.
So when it is promoted on certain level of platforms where many people are getting exposed to, they get inspired as well.
Yeah.
So it happens that way, But yes, I would believe that each one should be grounded to your locals.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make locals vocal, you are, hitting your own feet.
Yeah.
Because indirectly that business is going to hurt you as well. If you are going to bang on not working on the local handicrafts, crafts that are available, the fabrics, in fact, in the chain, you are getting damaged.
Yeah.
So you don't understand that. So we need to go back to our roots for that.
Yeah.
And I believe strongly it should be, because I believe India is a, it's a richest country where heritage fabrics is concerned, heritage, I mean, not just fabric. You talk about monuments, you talk about food, you talk about any damn thing. India is very rich. Yoga, meditation, it's weak.
Yeah.
Now it's come back from abroad and we do it very happily. Oats,
Yes.
it's we.
Yeah.
Labours used to have. It's come back packed and we have it every morning so proudly. So don't wait for that packaging to come back. Keep rooted.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I love our Indian art and culture. I love it. And I'm really close to it. But that doesn't mean I don't design Westerns. I do design because, as I said, I have to match the trend as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sharp at it. I'm
Yeah.
sharp at it.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. How is sustainability in this world? Because when we talk about fashion, there is so much talks about the unsustainable behavior that brands do. How are you being sustainable as a brand?
See, we try to work with those organic fabrics, but I'll tell you very clearly that when it comes to business, that doesn't work because clients do not want it. And at the end, it is a chain of the supplier and the demand.
Yeah.
So we have to satisfy it, but there is lots of work going on over it. Recently, there was a show very well done by a very big body of textiles wherein sustainable fabrics were used for fashion. They were used for you can say house linens, for mattresses. So we are trying to get those, but then what happens, few fabrics which are built from sustainable substances don't work with our atmosphere and climate, because they are also fused with some other fibers. It's not just sustainable. So then it doesn't suit our climate, so it goes abroad to a country where it suits. So it's a big challenging process, and yes, the researches are going on. Maybe in future we'll have very good sustainable fabrics as well, and we are waiting for it. We do have them, but it's a limit for you can say for customization and for professional use. Right? So we are working towards it, and when we get it, we definitely use them. And there are people who prefer that, but not all, because again comes the cost constraint.
Yes. So I want to know what luxury is for brands.
See, if you talk about brands, luxury connects to a high level because, again, it is cost constraint, because luxury, we will not talk for a certain class of people, because then that class has to earn to the living. But luxury is beyond that. Right? Because the craftsmanship of a luxury item, that can be any damn thing. The process is really a very strengthful process. The ingredients used, the raw material used is highly expensive. The craftsmanship of that particular product is also very sharply done. So when you talk about luxury brands, if you're talking about a watch, a footwear, a purse, you see it in and out, and you see those detailings. And each detailing puts a cost. Right? And when you have earned a certain amount of fame and name, you make it a label, a brand. Right? So even that adds on. And the uniqueness of it, creates it a luxury brand. And the luxury is to flaunt, one reason. Second is to show your social strength, how powerful you are. Third is to show your presence, so that people notice you. That can be positive or negative. And luxury can be your loving close to heart hobby as well. So it is how you use the luxury. So luxury is again a heritage, as you say. Right? So it is delivered from a level where it is raw to a product which is huge in name, huge in fame,
Yeah.
and huge in price.
Yeah.
So then comes the luxury.
Yeah. So when we talk about fashion, how, for me, for audiences to know, how has fashion evolved, how it has been created, and how it has evolved in these years?
Oh, this is something very ancient. I was reading about fashion. If I'm not wrong, his name was Charles, and he was a normal worker in the team of some Napoleon France group. And there was some function coming up, and for Her Highness, he designed an outfit for her. And in the function, it was so appreciated that Her Highness kept him as a designer, that now onwards you will design for me. And that's how he started designing those gowns and all. And then, a process was there that gowns were too long with trails and uncomfortable. Then it went little shorter.
Yeah.
So era to era, the designing started changing. So this was like at the time of Napoleon's France,
Yeah.
that time there was fashion.
Yeah.
There was a fashion designer who got evolved.
Yeah.
And I think it's Charles Worth. I don't remember the surname. It's Worth, if I'm not wrong. And then he had those models to wear them
Yeah.
because he felt, I'm doing something unique.
Yeah.
And when, like these days, when you give a model to wear it, why do you give it to a model to wear?
Yeah.
Why do you give it to I mean, if I have the sari, why I give it to a model to wear and then put it for sale? Why?
Yeah. To show how it fits, how it looks.
To enhance the
Enhance
look.
your look,
Because the model has a perfect figure, a perfect look, a perfect body language, a posture.
Yeah.
So,
And also, to show how
And showcase.
it is worn, to be worn.
yeah, so have you showcase, right?
Yeah.
So he did that. He got those human models from there and he made them wear. And people found it very impressive.
Yeah.
And then there was a small walk. And that's how we have these weeks of fashion going on, various with various titles and names. So he was the pioneer.
Yeah.
So where we do not exist, fashion did not exist, he existed. And thanks to him that we are there today, because he is the pioneer of fashion.
Yeah. Wow. And so for just to close now, is there any message that you want to give to our listeners? Anything about creativity, heritage, and self-expression?
I would say that I always say in my closing lines, in my talks, look within yourself, because therein lies the power. Don't search for outside things, because it may be good or bad. You may get, you may not get, but the power is within you. So don't let it die. That's the biggest way to achieve any goals. And I am very grounded to heritage.
Yeah.
So whether it's fabric, whether it's embroidery, whether it's organic colors, whether it's cuts and silhouettes, I love them. So I think those are my strong points, which keeps my label alive.
Yeah.
So I would always say to every listener who is related to fashion industry or fashion, don't run for everything, because everything is not meant for us. You may be a good cook, but doesn't mean you cook all well.
Yeah.
Maybe you are a good Italian cook,
Yeah.
but you don't cook Thai food well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Same goes with us. Maybe somebody is very good at traditional, some people are very good at making just corsets, some people are very good at styling, some people are very good at embroidery and embellishment, but they have no knowledge. They have knowledge, but they cannot display it practically, as a garment.
Yeah.
So fashion industry doesn't mean fashion of clothing.
Yeah.
It is styling, it is handicrafts, it's footwear, it's variety. And then you don't have just designers as sitting in a studio or a boutique or assisting some big designer. No, you have industrial exposures for designers. You have backstage exposure for designers.
Yes.
So fashion designing, people are constrained to just one part of it, but it is huge. It is huge. And pick up one vertical, grow for it. Don't run for everything. See your sharp vertical and choose that and run for it. And I think the goal is right in front of you. That's it.
Wow, that is so well put. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. One last question.
Yes.
What made you come to this podcast and be a part of Darji?
I'm here because of this tiny, beautiful girl who invited me, and she's sitting right in front of me. And she saw that potential in me, and she knows me since years. And Darji, right?
Yeah.
Such a nice word which connects to us day and night.
Yes.
And I was called a Darji when I started my journey towards as a fashion designer.
Yeah.
And I'm back on this podcast of Darji very proudly, saying that these podcasts are needed.
Yeah.
They are needed because you have to be vocal of what you do, and you have to let people know of what you do. And if even one person gets convinced with my lifestyle, with my way of working, with how I deal with things, maybe his or her life can change.
Yeah.
So as I was influenced by my mother, I call her as my idol of the influence.
Yeah.
So I have seen all that in that era when we didn't have anything of these luxuries. And though I am this today, so she is the one who built me up in this format.
Yeah.
So I would say that even if it touches somebody's heart, then Darji is doing a big job. So thank you so much for inviting me and making me feel special and believing in my work and my knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on Darji Talks by Darji Magazine. If today's conversation made you question, reflect, and see fashion in another light, then we have done our job. If you found value in this dialogue, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the behind the scenes are now on our social media, and the newest edition is now live on the website. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep redefining luxury as you may. Signing off, Yashi Thanke.